If you're watching this video, you're probably looking at the title thinking, I need a way to keep my makeup from sliding off throughout the summer and in humid and hot weather. If you're looking for tips for your twist outs or your edges, I can't help you. If you're here for makeup tips, I got you. I have managed to cook up the perfect humid, melt proof, not necessarily sweat proof. I can't stop you from sweating. That's actually probably not safe, but I can definitely show you how to get your makeup to last throughout those humid, hot, sweaty climates. That's gonna be this makeup look right here. If you wanna see how we pulled it off, let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is our skin. We need to be moisturized, even if it's hot, ladies, even if it is just 100 million degrees. I really like this moisturizer. This one is from Neutrogena. It is their Hydra Boost Gel because it's water-based. It's super lightweight on the skin and it still addresses the normal dry parts of my skin without it feeling super heavy. Now the next step, this is like non-negotiable, is you have to use a primer. If you really think about it, your foundation needs a good foundation too. You see what I did there? All right, so my holy grail primer, for those of you guys that are in the islands, Florida, any place where it's hot as you know what, hot AF, and you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay, you need this primer from Becca. You need it. This is the Ever Matte Poreless Primer. Sometimes if it's really hot and I'm really going through some things in life, I will then top it off with the MAC Prep and Prime. This is their Skin Revive Zone treatment. And this is supposed to be like a pore minimizer, but it's actually really good on top of minimizing pores at controlling oil. So I only like to apply this because I literally treat this like liquid gold. I only apply this on the areas where my pores show the most. And I dab that in and kind of just let that do its thing. My skin tone is uneven, as you can see, slightly darker around the perimeter of my mouth. So this next step is completely optional. You don't have to do this if you don't have this concern or if you don't have like dark circles. It's all the same step. If you have dark under eye circles, this is just another like preparatory step that you would do prior to doing your foundation. The product that I'm using here is from MAC. It is their Prep and Prime, what's this called? Prep and Prime Highlighter in Peach Luster. And those of you guys that are like sweaters and you have issues and concerns with your brows sweating off in an hour, might I suggest the NYX Proof It. This is a eyebrow waterproof base. I'm not sure if it makes the brows waterproof. I don't know, girl. I don't foresee myself dunking my head in no chlorine anytime soon. So I just apply it just like I would a primer and I put it right on top of those brows. This is the Cream to Powder Foundation from Sasha. I'm going to be using two shades. I'm going to use Cocoa Beige in the center because I'm a little lighter. And then I'm going to use Perfect Spice around the perimeter just because I feel like it looks a little more natural. This company is based out of Trinidad, and if the makeup that you wear can last there, you know they're doing something right. And I really like using this brush. This one is from Tarte. It is their bamboo brush. So I start off by applying that darker color around the perimeter. And what I like about this foundation is you get the coverage that you need with not a ton of product. And if you want to talk about a foundation that will match you perfectly, will not budge or separate on the skin, this is definitely it. All right, so we need to remove that ash, those primers, because that Becca primer is so mattifying, it makes me look ashy. If you want the makeup to last, you have to have a system. You gotta kind of work in layers. You can't just put on one foundation. I mean, otherwise just don't wear makeup at all. If you want it to be quick, don't wear makeup at all. Then all your problems will be solved. But you came here to see sweat-proof makeup, so I'm gonna show you sweat-proof makeup. So it might seem a little heavy, but we're gonna roll with it, okay? The next step is to conceal, and I really like the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, not only for its shade range, but when they are applied, they don't budge, honey. You would think creamy and radiant would be a hot, sticky, slidey mess. Not at all. Not the case at all. So I'm just going for medium under eye coverage, and sometimes you have to work pretty quickly with these because once they set, they are not moving. This look amounts to nothing without a setting powder, because not only do you want to keep that concealer crease free, but powder is going to keep you from looking all shiny in 2 minutes. So always want to set the under eye concealer. This powder is the Sacha Buttercup. I use this in all of my tutorials, so it's not new here. I'm applying that under eye to keep the eyes from creasing, and then also in the center of the forehead to help tone down some of that shine. This is a new brow beater pencil from Urban Decay, and it took me a little bit to kind of like, I swatched it on my hand and it took me a little bit to like wipe it off. So I'm thinking maybe this will be a good long wearing brow pencil. So I'm going to be trying this out today. And it has the flip side spoolie on one side, pencil on the other. The shade that I'm using is, actually I'm using two. I'm using warm brown and dark. So there's two of them. And because we applied that eye primer earlier, it gives us a nice matte surface to apply those brow pencils without getting too much gliding or tug. Actually, I'm really satisfied considering that's the first time I've tried that. I like the two colors. Let's see if it's just as resistant to the swatch I did earlier. And then just for an extra like security stamp, I think it also helps to set the brows with a brow gel. It just kind of acts like as a sealant. So another new product is from Urban Decay. I swear this is not sponsored by Urban Decay. These are just new products that I figured would maybe be fitting and helpful for this tutorial. This is their Brow Tamer. It's a flexible hold tinted brow gel. If you have fuller brows, this might be really helpful for you. So the shade that I have here is, it's not tinted, warm brown. Warm brown. And what I like to do anytime I use a brow gel is just kind of start on that inner area. That just kind of helps make sure that they hold their shape and just stay in place all throughout the day. So it just kind of like locks it in for a couple more hours. Setting your liquid foundation with a powder, if you do decide to use liquid, is non-negotiable, honey, non-negotiable. So I particularly like the Studio Fix powder. This one is from MAC. This is actually a powder foundation, so you don't need a ton, but this will not only give you a little bit more extra coverage, it will also kind of lock and smooth it in. And it's just got a little bit more extra security that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to take a large powder brush and lightly go over the face with this. For this look, I'm going to use a bronzer. You can contour. It's pretty much just whatever is based on your preference. I just like to look a little bit more warm. So I'm going to take this powder bronzer from Sacha. This is the Matte Me Brown. And I just basically take a large powder brush and shape the perimeter of my face. And I like the fact that a little bit of product goes a long way because it's very, very dark. And it's so hard to find dark bronzers for deeper, darker complexions. Do you ever feel like when you put on blush, it just kind of like magically wipes away after an hour? Well, my biggest tip for this type of humid climate or warm summer months is using a cream blush first and then setting with a powder. So the first blush that I'm going to use is from Stila. It's actually their convertible color. You can use this on your cheeks and lips, and the shade is Lotus. And I just apply this first, and then I apply a powder blush on top of it. This one is from The Balm. It's their Instain, and I love these because these actually are a long wearing. They don't stain my skin tone, but that's what this says, staining powder blush. It won't stain you. I highly doubt it'll stain you, but one swipe of this stuff is all you need, and they last all day and they look good all day. Then I'm going to highlight my skin using my Betty Luminizer from The Balm. This is my new Bae. This highlighter looks so good on dark skin. Like, it's so pretty. Now for looks like this, I try to keep the eyes pretty much to a minimum. I will start by using a Milani Shadow Eyes. This is another one of those long wearing products that's going to keep the eyeshadows from slipping and sliding around, especially if you have creasy, oily lids. So you can even wear these on their own. I find that the less you put on the eyes, the better. So I apply that on, and then I blend it out with my finger. And then I'll take any brown or like neutral palette. The one that I'm going to use today is from L'Oreal Le Palette Nude. This is the first one, by the way. And just pick any like 3 or 4 random eyeshadow colors. Freestyle it. Like, you don't have to be so restricted to anything. It's literally, it's just about the overall look. Today I'm going to use the push-up liner from Benefit. This is their Real. It comes in brown now, so today I'm testing this out. And you know, in the summer, makeup is a little softer and not as harsh, so I figured, you know, why not try something different? So I'm going to go ahead and apply 20 coats of the Benefit Real Mascara. This isn't the waterproof formula, but it is probably the next best thing. I mean, this stuff has a little bit of tug. This stuff definitely has a little bit of tug, but it actually comes with a remover. I've never tried it, but it may be worth looking into for those of you guys that have issues getting this mascara off. By the way, that was a joke. I'm not applying 20 coats, but I am going in. And this mascara, in my opinion, is one of the best multi-purpose mascaras simply because it is one of the only mascaras that will both thicken and separate lashes at the same damn time. And then that's me doing that weird backwards combing thing because I have freakish long lashes, FYI. And then for melt proof, sweat proof lips, I'm going to use a matte liquid lip cream. This one is from The Balm. I'm loving these from The Balm lately. The color is charming and it's just a nice like everyday mauve pink. To keep the makeup from slipping and moving around even more, I'm going to use the Sasha Fix It Spray. FYI guys, if you don't live where Sasha is based out of, which is in Trinidad, you cannot buy this online, unfortunately, but I do like the way that this kind of finishes off my makeup. So I'm gonna have a go with it. And that finishes this melt proof summer makeup look. Now, quick tip, make sure you bring things with you throughout the day so that you can do some touch-ups. My 2 recommendations would be whatever powder that you use. So I'm gonna throw my Studio Fix in my bag, take her with me everywhere. And then you're also gonna, I would recommend a blot sheet or any type of like blotting powder that's gonna help control shine throughout the day. One of my favorites in particular, this is the old packaging, but this is the Mally Beauty Face Defender. It is bomb. It literally makes the makeup look fresh as new all throughout the day. So anytime I start to get shiny, I'll just blot a little bit of that oil off and then mat it down with a little bit more powder. And that's pretty much it. These are my steps to getting the perfect melt proof makeup look. It may seem minimal and it may not seem like I really did much, but I promise you my makeup is not budging, especially if I keep these 2 on me throughout the day to touch up. Girl, you good. Girl, I want to see some pictures of you standing right in the middle of fog and tell me your makeup don't last. I want to see them. Go ahead, tweet me. Tweet me your pictures. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.